There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, Pam. Hang in there.
I'll have one ear on you.
Okay. And then I'm going to ask you to go back and read chapter 2 because you missed something. I think I'm on my third time reading it. And each time I've had an aha moment. The first time I just, you just kind of read, let me read this before I get to class. And my mind wasn't, my mind was somewhere else. So I wasn't really focused, but I caught some things.
So I have a question, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
You say go back to chapter 2 and read. Are you talking about the book or the workbook? Or
The
both?
book. The book.
Okay.
Yeah, the book.
Wow.
The book. Yep. Yep. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put my spin on chapter 2 and ask you some questions and ask you how you feel about them. And then I'm going to give you an introduction to chapter 3. And then I'm going to ask when you come back, for December, there'll be no class. Too close to Christmas. Go enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
Drop me a plate off at the shop if you want to. And then
we're going to hit us with double in January, are you?
Oh, I am. I'm about to hit you with it before you even leave. So when you come back in January, you will have chapter 3 completed, including the 3 swatches.
Got them
including all the tips and tricks. Chapter 3 teaches you to do with those swatches. Because, oh my God, they're so important. So you should have 3 and 4 when you come back in January. And I think I wrote it, was it January 19th? Let me see. I know it's January.
There is not a date for January listed yet, but I know.
January 15th. January 15th. So, okay. So, 3 and 4 for January. So when you come back, we'll go over 3 and 4. We'll discuss.
Are you talking about the workbook chapters 3 and 4?
I'm talking about the book and the workbook.
So chapters 3 and 4 in the workbook.
3 and 4. Pam kind of gave you chapter 3 last month.
Chapter 2.
She went over chapter 2 and gave you chapter 3 for homework.
Right.
So chapter 3 will really be due today.
Yes.
But I'm going to backpedal a little bit and take you back to chapter 2 because you missed something. I know you did. It's a lot in this chapter. And this chapter is almost the key to making your perfect knitted project. Like when I talked to you about chapter 1, I told you we're going to go over some math. You're not going to be happy with me. But it's math. And the math is what makes your perfect fit. Yeah. Yes, Steph.
I always wanted to do that raise my hand thing and I can't find it. But anyway, just so you know, the 15th is a Thursday.
Oh, then it's the 14th.
I just thought I'd mention that because I was putting it in my calendar.
Let me see.
Wait, I am confused. So then by January, we have to do
14.
lesson 4, swatch number 6. That's what we're doing in January.
Have you done lesson 3 already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a gazillion.
Yeah. Then all you have to do is 4.
Yeah.
Got it. But what I'm telling you is I'm not going to go in depth on 3 today. I'm going to give you that time.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yes.
So I am ahead of, okay.
So you're ahead.
That's a good thing.
Is chapter 4.
Okay.
Like a lot of us, I've done the swatches.
Yeah.
But we'll go over it more in depth because we're going to spend some time on chapter 2 today.
Okay, I got you now. Okay.
And go over some of the things. Pam taught you the lazy swatch.
Yes.
And she answered some more questions about the swatching. But we're going to dig deep.
Oh, dear. Is it math, Kim?
it's gonna be some, but I promise you, I'm gonna give it. We're gonna go over it in a way where you'll understand.
Mhm.
Because if you went over chapter 2, you went into some math.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you went into some math that maybe you didn't even understand. Yeah, yeah. So like it wouldn't behoove me to go on to chapter 3 when I know that you missed something. In chapter 2, I know you did. Because I did. I read it 3 times.
So
And
that's a good teacher.
yeah, like so um yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. And the rereading, I'm not gonna go over chapter 2 again in January, but I want you to reread it for yourselves. Because I promise you, when I asked you in January, when you reread chapter 2, I want you to write it down too. What more did you get out of it that you didn't get when you read it before? Because I had so many aha moments. I was like, I wonder did they read this? I wonder did they get this? Like, and I want you to get it all. Yeah, I want you to get all $50 worth in your books. Yeah.
So for January 14th, we read chapters 3 and 4 in the book, and we
Mm-hmm.
reread chapter 2 in the book.
Yes, in the book and the
And we're doing lesson 4 in the
Workbook.
lesson 3 and 4 in the
workbook.
workbook.
If you haven't already,
Okay,
those of you have done it already, you're ahead of the game.
Yep.
okay.
But then you're gonna have to remember because we're gonna go over it in January. So you're gonna have to remember what you read in chapter 3 and what you found
Okay.
from their swatches.
Yeah.
Oral,
Three.
an oral test.
Nope, but I'm gonna give you some little tricks like I'm gonna do tonight. Like I'm gonna give you some more examples
Okay.
of figuring out things to try to make it a little bit easier. Because sometimes it's confusing. So I'm gonna do my best.
Oh, Kim, you're
to make it-
wonderful.
Oh,
We appreciate you.
girl,
guys.
you right. Thank you. So we're gonna talk about the miracle of swatching. When I say swatch in one of these classes, I lose 3 to 4 people. They be like, swatch.
Look, there
Well,
goes Ellen.
I'll just start knitting, and then I'll check my gauge. How many times I thought that was gonna work? I remember on New Year's, I made this beautiful, cozy raglan sweater. It's a pattern on Ravelry. I went to my big box store, Michael's, and I went and got me some charisma yarn. And these cables were beautiful. You know, I said, well, I don't have to swatch it. I mean, I don't have to swatch this. It's acrylic. You know, I don't have to block it. It's acrylic. And I've always heard that you don't block acrylic, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard that.
Me
And
neither.
yeah, I thought I did everything. I put that sweater on. It looked good. I wore it to New Year's Eve dinner. And when I got back to my hotel room, it was a dress. Like
Wow.
it didn't grow this way, but it grew this way.
Wait.
Right. And I'm like, well, what the heck? Well, I'll just block it. It'll go back. It grew even more. By the time I could do nothing but throw this sweater away. Like I didn't want to reclaim the yarn. You know, who you gonna give it to? So after that, I realized that swatching is more than just getting a gauge. It's coming up with the fabric you want for your projects. Um, I look at some of the things like how big is your swatch? How many of us have made that swatch and you get to like the 10th row and you taking out your little device. I got it right here. And you like, oh, that's good. Oh, I don't need to swatch some more for what? I'm already getting gauged. Another thing is, how many times have after you did that, you turned it this way to get your row gauge, and you say, well, my row gauge ain't working. You know, they never work. The row gauge. I'm 3 stitches off. I'll be fine. I'm gonna make it longer anyway. Right?
Yeah.
But then you go to put on that sweater and your armpits is up here. Right? But they say, oh, row gauge ain't important. Yeah, don't worry about it. As long as you get the stitch gauge, we good, right? Mm-mm. The way to make your perfect fabric, first of all, we're not, even though you're trying to see if you can get gauge, getting gauge is not really what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out what your gauge is. We already know what Andrea Mowry's gauge is. We already know what my favorite Hohe's gauge is. She might not know, but we know when we read the patterns. But what is your gauge? And how can you make your gauge into your perfect project? And that's where that math come in.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Then okay, we swatched. Okay, now we gonna go ahead and do what y'all say. We're gonna get this big swatch. I'm gonna take the whatever's on the label for the gauge. I'm gonna add 12 stitches to it so I can get 6 stitches on each side. Am I gonna border it with garter stitches to make it this beautiful? Right.
Nope.
Because it ain't gonna work. Because knits and pearls have 2 different stitch counts. They will never add up to be the same thing. All right, well, I almost got gauge on my swatch. I'll just block it. I know I'm only a half a stitch off, right? I'll just block it. And when I block it, I'm gonna pin that sucker. I'm gonna get that 20 stitches to 4 inches. And then I'm gonna take it off the blocking mat and I'm gonna show all my friends. And I'm gonna check that gauge tomorrow and it's gonna be different. Why? I did what they told me to do. You know, I didn't put the border. I laid it out. I pinned it to get that 20 stitches I wanted. And then it went shoot. Then I started my sweater. And then what happens? Them stitches go shoot. Then I go to try it on and it's like, why won't this fit over my head? Yep. So it's some of the myths. She went over a lot of the myths that we have put into our head about swatching that we think is going to work and they don't. And then what we do, we blame it on the swatch. Swatch for what? Swatching don't never work. Every time I swatch and then I make the garment, it's something totally different. Ain't got nothing to do with me. The fact that I pinned it like my life depended on it. Like, how many of you knew that we shouldn't pin a stockinette swatch?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
Me neither. They said, nope. She said, just lay it out.
Lay it out.
So you know me. You gotta prove it. Prove it. I did my little stockinette swatch and I pinned it. And then I took my next one and I laid it. And I said, oh my goodness. Maybe this Patty girl know what she talking about. Yep. Like I was talking about gravity. She says, put some weight on your swatch. You're going to do that in chapter 3. Put a little weight on that swatch. to see if it's going to grow, like my New Year sweater. Yes,
Mhm.
yours.
The weight, yeah, the weight
Mhm, mhm.
that, because I did chapter 3, which
Uh-huh.
took forever, I might
Oh
add.
my goodness, those swatches, right?
Yeah, well, the whole shebang.
The whole chapter.
Anyway, I put binder clips on the
Mhm.
swatch. And when you just said you were telling your story about your glamorous acrylic,
Mhm.
my synthetic, which was 100% acrylic, did not grow
Mine didn't either.
from that binder clip
Original.
routine. So
None of
I,
mine grew either, and I did 6 different swatches.
yeah, well, I mean, I did too, and I know what grew and what didn't. But when you just told that story, I thought, wait a minute, mine
Mhm.
didn't grow. Is
Oh,
there
my
something
girl.
maybe I should have done differently
No,
on
no.
my
It
in
depends on
my exercise?
it depends on the yarn, right?
Well, it's 100% acrylic.
It doesn't matter. All yarn is not created equal. You can have 100% superwash, and it could be different than another 100% superwash.
Really?
But that's why you gauge. That's why you do the swatch, so you can learn what your fabrics
What
are.
my okay. So
Yeah.
I don't need to worry that
No,
when you said
no.
that, I thought, well, mine wasn't a dress.
Mm-mm.
It didn't grow that far. Okay.
It doesn't have to grow, but you just want to see if it will grow.
You want to see what your
Thank you.
fabric is
Yeah.
capable of doing. That's just like
Okay.
fabric from a what's the called a store? Like let's say I know Joann's is gone, but like material fabrics, they even
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. They
think
did.
about it.
You're stretched to them. Yeah,
Yes, they perform differently. And when you go in there and get that piece of
that's true.
material, you got to figure out what this
That's
material is going to do.
That's true.
It's the same thing with the gauge swatch. You become very familiar with what your garment is going to be by that swatch. Yeah.
I know. It
Mhm.
takes so long. I want to get the project going. It's like, ooh, something new.
I'm telling you,
Kim, can I ask a question about that? Like,
Mhm.
so like we go into these yarn stores and like you want to buy a kit or something.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think the right behavior though is you should be like test driving the pattern with the gauge swatch
Mhm.
before you invest the money. So like if you have something in mind, I mean, you're going to buy the pattern
Mhm.
and maybe just buy one skein and then do a nice gauge swatch, put it through these riggers, put the binder clips on it, the
Mhm.
whole caboodle. And then if you don't like the fabric or if you can't get gauge, maybe move on to the next project. I mean, is that the right attitude or behavior before you invest all the money in these kits and so forth?
Have you ever seen behind me?
A little bit, but not.
Yeah.
What did you say, Karen?
I can't. Have you ever seen behind me?
Ooh.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's been a lot of times. A kit gets me every time.
Yeah, me
Give me
too.
a kit with all the yarn, the pattern, a
Yeah, it's like a
little
shiny new
stitch
car or something.
marker, like put a stitch marker or a little pouch in there, baby. You got me. I came home and realized that what they wanted me to do with this kit doesn't happen. So my group will tell you, I'll go back and say, I haven't figured out what this wants to grow up to be yet. I put it aside. I might, maybe a year later, I'm like, you know what? I can make perfect example. We're doing the Paul Klee sweater, and they've got these beautiful kits in the shop to do the Paul Klee sweater where they are making them for you, which is coming up in January. I think it's Beth's class. And I said, oh, I bought this same kit that I bought for something else that I started, didn't like. And I put it to the side. I can't even remember what it was. It was some shawl or something I thought I was gonna make. But I had made this combs. We have these combs of Sweet Georgia yarn. You can see it behind me standing up there. That big cone of Sweet Georgia
Uh-huh.
with all of the different colors.
Oh, yeah. I know
Yeah.
what I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I said, that's my Paul Klee sweater. You know, like
Perfect.
it's not like you're never going to use these things, but it might not be what you want. Do I want to buy a skein of a $30 skein to do a swatch to decide that I don't want to do it?
Well, you know, Bridget, I was listening to Mark on one of his Zooms, and
Mhm.
when he did that yarn tour thingy that you guys had, he said, I bought a skein so that I can swatch it, but it was a yarn that he had never used before. And he wanted to see what it felt like, and and that was why he bought a 30-some dollar skein,
Yeah.
just to swatch in case he ever wanted to do something. So I don't know.
That's
I
a
mean,
bit
she's
different
got
than,
a good point.
it's a little bit different than a kit.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I
I mean,
think
it's better to buy one skein of, I think he bought that La Bien Aimée, which is that real pricey French
Yeah.
yarn.
Yeah.
And now he's making something out of it, but you're right. I mean, it's better to buy maybe one, see how it test drives. Do you get gauge? Do you get the fabric you want? And
That's
then,
not a bad idea.
then buy 6 more for the sweater or whatever.
Has anybody in here used La Bien Aimée?
Yeah.
How wonderful is it?
It's
It-
wonderful.
It
It's
is.
nice.
It's wonderful, but
It's
it's
Wonderful.
Lovely.
Wonderful.
not like
And it's not,
one of a kind.
yeah, and it's
Wait.
not,
What is it, merino wool?
it may not be close to you.
What is
You
the
know what I
fact?
mean? Like La Bien Aimée is in Illinois. I think the closest way for me to get it
Probably Wool and
is
Co.
Wool
Wool and
Co.
Co.
No, they have it
Yeah.
actually at the store in Cleveland up in Vermilion,
Yeah, they
I
have.
was just,
Cast On
it's-
something or other. They
but
sell it up there.
just the not,
On
it's just
something?
DK. I think it's
Is
just
it the,
DK.
DK.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just, I think, yeah, it is.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
a lot of different bases and stuff, but I think it's her dyeing capacities and things like that. It's makes it very special, and it's
Very special.
it's well done. It's
oh
well
my God, it's a
manufactured.
beautiful yarn.
It's the coloring. Yeah.
I have a shawl here somewhere, but I don't know where. But it's beautiful. When I tell you, it was a
Feel
pleasure to knit every stitch,
Mm.
every single stitch of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're about to spend $150 on yarn, and $32 of it could make you not make that mistake, then I would say. But if it's a kit, it's coming home.
Yeah.
It's coming home. If somebody curated that and put that together and gave me that stitch marker, it's gonna be here till I figure out what it's gonna be.
So
Mhm.
Kim, I have a question, and I'm way
Sure.
behind in my reading and stuff. So Patty may have addressed this, so I'm sorry if it's repetitive.
okay.
But so so I made a hat out of La Bien Aimée.
Mhm.
So say now and it was maybe 2-3 years ago.
Mhm.
So say I decide now I want to make a sweater out of it. Can
Mhm.
I safely say the needle size happened to be the same? Can I use my hat as a swatch?
Mm-mm.
Or are there too many unknown variables
Yep.
that could change? Yeah.
Yep. Even
Okay.
her, she could have changed her yarn,
Right. Her base or
her base
something.
or something.
Yeah.
Even the
You-
color of the same yarns actually matters because it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
with
Absolutely.
cross
Yeah.
stitch. The color
Especially
behaves
dark colors versus the lighter ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes the dyeing process.
How do you spell that?
Labien, LABIEN AIMEE.
3 words. La bien.
Bien Ame.
Yeah.
Her name is Amy, actually, but
Yeah,
I guess-
the words
Mhm.
together mean, I think, the beloved or the beloved one in French.
Mhm.
So kind of goes with the yarn, I guess.
Mhm. I definitely love the yarn. Absolutely do. I had a couple more things. What else?
Well, what you were talking about before we went on that trip was because you said about the yarn growing
Yes.
and putting weight on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you ended.
Yep. And it was just funny. We just had a holiday party for the shop, and Beth gave me this.
Oh,
And she was like, this is something you can put all your papers together. Like you always maybe clip your chips, you know. She always gives you these little things that make you go, huh? She gave me this and she gave me this, which you could, it's little holes in there to feed the yarn
yeah.
through, like when you have more than one color you're working on.
Oh, yeah.
But this, when I tell you I swatched, and this was the perfect weight I needed to put some weight on my swatch. It was just
Yeah.
long enough so that it wasn't hanging off of one end and it would give me uneven weight. Like I don't know where the heck she got it from,
Yeah, that looks perfect.
but it was perfect.
Put them in the shop.
Right. I might have to tell her to wherever she put some of these
Yeah,
in.
because the chip clips didn't work.
It's too light.
Yeah.
Yeah. My chip clips are plastic and
Me too.
they're on all my chips. Okay.
Yeah.
They're
You could
being
go to
used.
They're
Home
busy.
Depot.
They're big.
What I use in
Home
my- I
Depot.
put 3 of
Now go
those
to
in-
Home Depot and get washers like WASHERS. They're kind of
Wait.
heavier, but they're like 50 cents or even less. And you can even use them as like pattern weights if you're cutting like fabric to sew. But I would maybe tie one of those on because it would give you a little more heft.
I see what you mean. You would have to put one on each side, like to
Yeah.
make it
Well, you'd
even.
have to do it all the way
Yeah.
across.
Yeah.
to
This
make
is what
it
It
made
even.
it
needs each
even.
side and
Laura, what
everything.
did you
Mhm.
have? What did you just hold up?
I use that for my other stuff.
Let's see what you got, girl.
What
So I
is
put 3 of those in mine, but I
Oh,
left
I know those
for
little
3
binder clips.
days. So it
Yeah.
may be
Yeah.
little, but it was in there for 3 days.
Yeah.
We use that for cross stitch.
Yeah, I put 3 of those in there, but
Yeah,
I have
that
those
that's
ones,
a
the
good
heavy
one.
ones, but
Yeah, I
Oh,
think we
Like these. That's a good one too.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
You have to make it even so that
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
That was
No.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
believe
why
me, I got plenty.
Mhm.
That's just a sample.
Right. It just made it so perfect.
Well, what
Okay.
see that yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll find out where Beth got those from
Heck
and
yeah.
see if we could get some in the shop because that's
Just go to
perfect.
just go to the office supply.
The
That's what
office
you
and-
get.
Right.
Could
Office
be.
supplies.
That could be.
Right. Another thing. Hard ruler versus
Oh.
I said, get out of here. How's the ruler gonna be out of shape?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Like, what sense do that make? So I've got this tape measure I've been using for about 30 years because they don't go up to 95 and 96 inches. Like, it's not the good one they got. And I got a little bit more than 36 inches in this bust, okay? And I put it up against my ruler because I'm about to prove Patty wrong, right? I'm going to show you guys. Do you see how off this ruler is?
Oh yeah. I did the same thing with my little measuring tape widgets and the pretties, the little pretties.
Yeah, the ones
And
that
I went and got a hard ruler and I put it up against it and I went, well, hello. This
okay.
is right.
Like, so all those times I was going down needle sizes, going up needle sizes because I couldn't get gauge.
Yep.
What if I already had it? Yeah. I said, Patty make you pull your hair back. Like, let me listen to what Patty got to say.
Well, I just figured all those
Mhm.
years that I was doing it without a hard ruler, at least it was consistent.
We all say, you know, when it don't fit, we're gonna block it.
Right.
You might have a
Like-
question.
Yes.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I keep hearing get gauge, okay?
Mhm.
But my understanding is that we're not focusing on what they say the gauge should be.
Mhm.
It's what we want and what we like as far as the fabric goes. We
Mhm.
Yep.
determine what the great gauge is.
Mhm. But what I'm telling you is, if you don't have an accurate gauge, you don't know. If you can't measure your gauge with the right, piece of equipment, you're never gonna know what I'm about to tell you next. with these. Yeah, I feel like you want me to go ahead, get to it, Kim. Get to the equation of this situation.
Oh, Lord.
But what I was trying to slow roll you in is all the things you shouldn't do with your gauge swatch first. And then I'm going to tell you, no matter what number you get, you can make the perfect fitting if you follow a few small equations, right? Okay, we went over roll gauge and stitch gauge and how it is important to get both because you don't want to armpit all the way up here or you don't want to armpit at your waist because you said, my roll gauge didn't get it. Okay. One more thing we got to go over about gauge swatching. And I wish I had her in here because I'm going to talk about her. Sarah. My sweet Sarah says all the time, I'm a loose knitter. I have to go down 3 needle sizes. I have often said, I'm a pretty tight knitter. Sometimes I've got to go up a needle size in order to get the fabric that I want. Until Patty told me, you're not even knitting right. Some of us are knitting our stitches on the tips of the needle. How is that ever going to be when the tip of the needle is this small? Can we get it in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, when you make that stitch, you should be on the base of the needle. Mm-hmm. Another thing is I watch Stephen West when he knits, and his stitching he knit like this, where he's always he's pulling these stitches on every stitch that he makes. If you watch one of his videos, I always think like, why does he knit so loose? Why is he pulling those stitches apart? And both of those things will affect your gauge. If you keep pulling that, so now, okay, he pulled them stitches that, how will I ever meet his gauge? Only reason I don't worry about it is most of the time I'm either making a shawl from him.
Right.
Something that who cares if it makes gauge or not. So it's never really been an issue as far as a garment. Right. But if it was, I would never be able to match his fabric. I would always have to make my own and do these equations. Yeah. A thing I get all the time in the shop when I'm helping people is they come in and they say, I got, even on Zoom, they'll say the gauge is 30 stitches and I got 28. I'm going to have to take a smaller needle because I need 30. It gets very like confusing sometimes, especially when they tell you to cast on 300 stitches for a project. And on your gauge, you got 28. What's your chances of that fitting? Pretty slim to none. Yeah. So remember, if you have more stitches than what the gauge is telling you to do, your stitches are too small.
Right.
And you need a larger needle.
Yeah, but that depends if you like the fabric with the stitches that small. So then you just have to figure it out.
You just figure it out.
To change.
Absolutely. And I feel like, or you already know how to figure it out. Tell the class.
Couldn't you
done?
do a different size instead of, you like the fabric, like the needle you're using. Can't you just pick another size?
Yeah,
you sure can.
the way I'm saying, yeah.
I love the way you think. Tell me how you do it.
Well,
it's an equation, Jeanette.
Yes.
We're in trouble.
Yes. Everything you're telling me is the absolute truth. And and people will tell you, I never look at a pattern like I can't do it. Like I didn't get gauge, I can't do this. I'm going to make it fit.
And
Mhm.
I'm going to say something that you may disagree with me, but I am one of those knitters that actually have to go down 1 or 2 needle sizes, and I do have my stitches go full in the seam because but I have to. I mean,
So no holes up under,
yeah, no, nothing. I mean,
no spaces in between your stitches.
no spaces, no nothing.
You
But I always,
love your fabric.
that's how I begin. If they say
Mhm.
4, I go down, and then if I get it, I am happy. If no, then I have to change it. But that's
And when you go down, do you love your fabric?
yeah, no, that's yeah.
Period.
To do that in order to I do the fabric and then I'll do whatever.
Perfect. It's all about loving the fabric
Mhm.
that you're going to make. So if that makes you happy with your fabric, then you've done your job.
But it's
let's say you go
always
down.
the case, but not every time. See, sometimes depend of the yarn that I have to actually change that equation. So I mean, you just have to try.
And that's the truth. But you would never know if you never did that gauge swatch. Sometimes you might go down a needle and you're like, this is stiff as a board. Like, I'm not making shoes. Like, this needs to be looser. And then you loosen it up. And how do you figure out what size to make? Just like Jeanette said. Well, what do I do? But there's some very important information that we look at one thing. And I'm only going to go into half of this because chapter 3 or 4 is going to go more in depth in it. But you look at it and you say, all right, my bust measurement is this. I look at my bust measurement. I'm just going to make that size, right? Isn't that what we do? Yeah. If it fits over these girls, I'm good. I'll just make that size.
You add the ease. I mean,
Right. I'll be fine. Oh, and it's got 4 inches of positive ease. That's going to go over in chapter 4 too. I'm good. Oh, we good. I can start knitting. But what if you could make the perfect outfit where it could go over your bust at the right place? It could go over your stomach at the right place. It could be the perfect arm length. Because that's another thing. They call my family teases me because I have short arms. Like, I don't know why. All this height and my arm is short. So like if I follow the pattern for 18 inches and my arm is 15, my arms would be down to the floor. So like I have to figure out that math in order to decrease at the right amount.
The right place, yeah.
The right place.
Yeah.
For your arms. A pattern that I always tell first knitters when they want to make a sweater is the tin can knits. What's it called? Flax sweater. You look at that and you're like, what in the heck are they asking me to do in this pattern? They got a number for everything. But if you were to cast on the amount of stitches that would fit around your neck from one size, you could go to the next size and do the bust. You could go to another size and do the waist. All of the sizes are so lined up that you could make this perfect sweater out of this sweater and hit all the bells and whistles. You can make it the height you want it to, your arm length. There's about 12 different arm sizes. And I have literally had to do that with my arms. I might make the sweater in this size and I have to go down 3 sizes for my arms so that they come in at the same point. But if I didn't know my gauge, I couldn't do it. If I didn't know how to divide, let's say, okay, here we go. We're going to do the math. We got 80 stitches. They want us to go around in this sleeve, right? And I'm getting 5 stitches per inch for this sleeve. How do you know how many stitches I need for my sleeve. What's the equation I'll use?
You gauge by the length that you need.
Say it again.
You gauge by the length that you need. I mean, how many rows do you have?
Well, first, the gauge is for every 4 inches.
Mhm.
So let's break that down because I need every inch. I'm not about to do this math in fours. So I'm going to take the 80 stitches and I'm going to divide it
By 5.
by 5. There you go, by 5.
Yeah.
Right. And that's going to tell me how many inches I need.
That's 20.
Okay, so now we got, if you take the 80 and divide it by 5, you get the 20 stitches.
Mm-hmm.
Now 20 stitches, I'm telling you this wrong.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you this wrong.
that
I
would
back up.
right.
Yeah, because I'm about to confuse you and me. I'm going to do the scarf example. Because if I do the sleeve example, I have to give you
Row.
Yeah. So that's a different gauge. Let me go. I need something that goes across, and then we'll do something that goes down. Fair?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we want to make a scarf,
Mm-hmm.
and I want my scarf 10 inches wide.
Okay.
Okay. And for a 4-inch gauge, I'm getting 20 stitches. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So first I'm going to divide that in order to get how many per inch.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to say, okay, 5 or 20, I get 5 stitches per inch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now I want to multiply to see times that 10 to see how many stitches I need to cast on.
Mm-hmm.
So you say 5 by 10, okay, 50 stitches. Bam, I got this scarf. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be exactly the amount of inches row-wise that I want it to be. So like I said, it's a little bit of math, but it's easy to figure out. The same thing with row gauge, but it's just a little bit different because you're going to have how many stitches you're getting the long way. So on my gauge, let's say it's the same thing. You would be doing the same equation the long way, but you got to measure how long you need it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to want it 10 inches.
No.
You don't want your sleeve at least to go down to your width. Right. So like that's how you figure out exactly. So like I can go to a pattern and the pattern has 3 different sizes. And if I do the math according to my gauge, I can see what size is going to fit me. If you do the math, if I had that 5 stitches per inch and I needed 30 waist, oh boy, that would be beautiful. A 30-inch waist. I know I would have to so 150 stitches, right? We can dream. We can sure dream. But so when I go to the pattern and the pattern says, so I know for my 30-inch waist, I need 150 stitches. I go to the pattern and extra large says cast on 250. Is that going to fit me?
No.
No. No. But that's what Hoagie told me to do for the extra large with her gauge. My gauge is 5 stitches per inch. So I can go across that and see what's going to fit me the best. And that's the size I'm going to pick to go with my gauge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's just little tricky ways. Another thing she mentions is a lot of times we pick the project and we're like, we're going to make I don't know why I'm picking on Hoagie tonight. Do y'all know she's not my favorite person? She is not. She is not. And I would not be making her sweater, I promise you. But we pick we see the new sweater she's got out and we're gonna make it. And then we take the pattern to the yarn store, because just like a sewing pattern, when you buy the pattern out of the shop and you look at the back of that envelope and it tell you you need 3.5 yards of denim or whatever, and you need 5-inch zipper and all of these things that you need. We do the same thing with a pattern.
Yeah, that's true.
And we take it to the store and we're ready. And we're looking at the lady, look, I need the yarn that goes for this. And then we go home. But have you ever bought yarn because it was pretty? Yeah.
Never,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah, never done
You
that.
should see my stash.
And come home and just
Not
make a gay
club.
swatch. Right. I'm guilty. I do it. I want to see what it's gonna look like, especially if it's one of the ones where they done dyed it and the colors going all kind of ways.
I stopped buying that kind of yarn.
Yeah, I want to see what.
I don't like to have to alternate skeins to get it to
match up.
dyed yarn. I try and stay away from, because I don't like to have to, especially if you know, doing a gradient.
Mm-hmm.
Did a gradient with 3 balls, and it was all over the place. But I did it. It looked nice, but I said I wouldn't do it again.
Do it again.
Because
You could get that with any hand-dye yarn. I bought Sweet Georgia, where one skein is totally different than the other.
Yeah.
And I'm not one that likes to alternate skeins either. So I just wear that puppy. It's
Wait,
I made it. What did you expect? I made it. You know, it is what it is. But if you want a perfect, the best way to do is to alternate skeins. I've done both. Sometimes just dealing with one skein is enough. Now you want me to deal with 2? And did I forget the second row? Did I remember which row did I knit the first?
Yeah.
I'm halfway through
Yep.
the second one and I can't even remember if I alternated.
And if you have to hold 2 strands together,
Oh,
alternate, it's
yeah, but that's a good one when I've done a sweater like that too, where I've held 2 strands together, but I first laid out all the skeins and put the lightest ones with the dark ones so they could all be messed up together. And then when you put the 2 colors together, it kind of even out the whole thing a little bit. But no. Yeah. Yeah. But try that. Go into your stash and just take one of those skeins you've been saving and knit it up. Sometimes you might like it, sometimes you might not. It's better getting halfway through a sock and being like, what in the heck? Who's gonna wear this?
if you buy a skein,
Mm-hmm.
bring it home, and okay, I don't have time to do a swatch now. It's there for a year, and you finally say, oh, let me swatch this and see what it looks like.
Right.
I like it. Don't have the yarn anymore. I need so much of this to do a sweater, and I don't have that.
I don't have that yarn.
Oh.
Yeah.
So imagine if you would have came right home and swatched it up. You would have known to call back to them people and ask them for 4 more skeins. I've done that too. Yep. That's a good point. You just never know. And even if they still have the yarn, your dye lot.
The dye lot,
It's
and
going to be.
I did that quintessential sweater, sweater club, last year, I think it was, and 2004. I finished the back and the one side, okay? Then I had it, life came, my husband had to having issues, had to put him in assisted living. It was a crazy year.
Right.
Then I went back, pulled out that sweater to finish it. I had the yarn.
But your gauge.
My stitch count, I got the same amount of stitches. I had peg count. Peg and I went over it over again. Had the exact same amount of stitches.
I got a pair of socks like that. I ain't even wait.
You can tell the difference with the color of the yarn, even though it's the same dye lot, it looks different than it did the one side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was different than the back and the one side of the front. As I waited over here to
I
get
can totally see that. I can totally see that happen. Even in your everyday, like my go-to is to keep a sock in my purse at all times because I never want to be somewhere where they're gonna hold me up and I don't have my knitting to calm my nerves because I'm very impatient. So if I have my knitting, I normally can give you about 15 minutes because I'll pull out my sock. Like I always say the pharmacy because it feels like they never have my medications ready. And I have to sit in these real little small chairs and I knit on my sock. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes in this booty cruncher chair, right? So I was at the emergency room with my mother and she's a pill to swallow. So I'm making this sock. So I am making this sock. You hear me? I am, ooh, this lady is running me. You know, I finished the first sock. I go to do the second sock and both of my socks, 2 different sizes. I did the first sock at home. Relaxed, my feet kicked up.
Yeah.
I couldn't, for the life of me, I didn't change needle sizes.
Yeah.
What is wrong? Like, and I mentioned it to somebody and they said, well, where did you knit this? And I said, the hospital. And they said, that's why. You were stressed. You were stress knitting, you know, and I really was.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
And both of my socks are 2 different sizes. What do you do with that? So I said to myself, oh, well, it'll block out. No, it didn't. No, it'll block out. No.
My sweater at the hem is just a teeny bit shorter than, but I wasn't taking any of it apart because I use mohair.
Oh,
Yeah,
that baby,
there for life.
that baby got to be what it's gonna be.
I just keep it unbuttoned.
That's right.
I do hear that you can put it in the refrigerator or freezer.
Freezer. Yeah.
Freezer.
I've heard. Haven't done it.
But I don't want to know.
And do what? A finished object in the
It'll make it
Take
easier
it
to
out.
take apart.
Take it
Oh, I
apart.
had to, okay, no.
It'll make it
I
easier to
tried
take
to
apart.
put mohair and wool together apart and it was a mess. But one of the things I wanted to say, Kim, is I recently finished a vest, and when I did the swatch, I swatched the ribbing, I swatched the color work, and I swatched the stockinette, all piled together. And I ended up, when it came to making the sweater, I had to use 3 different needles because of the you know, the way it worked out, you know.
Right.
So that the color work would work with the ribbing. And the color work was done in the round, but the ribbing wasn't. And the stockinette wasn't done in the round. Only the color work, because it was supposed to be steeped. The color work part was in the round. Okay. But I ended up using 3 different needles, 2 different sizes within that pattern. Okay.
Wow.
And it fits perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. It was a big swatch. The swatch is like this. It's really tall.
All right.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but you know, I learned something
So
from
much.
Yeah.
I would also suggest next time you swatch, because I've done that too. That's another thing. How many people have started a swatch on one size needles and said, oh, that's not working? And my mind, just unscrew the needles and put the bigger size on and let me see if it's working now.
I do that. What's wrong with that?
It can knock your gauge off.
Well, it's supposed to.
Well, no. It could almost end up being the same gauge you got with the previous needle. I'm telling you what Patty told us. When
No,
you
I've seen that because I used to do the
Yeah.
method where
Mhm.
I would do a section and I'd do the yarn overs to mark the
Mhm.
needle size. And then
Yeah.
if I wanted a different one, I'd go up to it.
And
So
you
if you
like-
have bigger stitches down below and you go to a smaller needle,
Mhm.
your bigger piece of fabric
Stitches.
is going to stretch out the smaller stitches,
Mhm.
the stitches that you want to be
Yep.
smaller on the needle,
When I
Yep.
did
on the
my-
smaller needle.
I did all three with the same needle.
Yeah, I know
Then
yours
when
is
I
different, but I'm
did
just
the
saying.
block and,
Yeah.
start doing the measurement, then that's when I found out that I needed 3 different needle sizes.
Needles.
I didn't swatch in 3 different needles. I only swatched
Right.
one size.
No, I've done it where I just changed the needle.
Well, I do that all the time. So
Yeah.
you're telling
Me
me
too.
no, don't do that.
A lot of this stuff Patty was talking about, I do.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like when I tell you chapter 2 was an eye opener. Like some of the things she was saying.
Oh.
Well, and a lot of those things that I have done, like I always put a garter,
Me too.
edge around my swatch because
Beautiful.
that's what I was taught,
Me too.
and
Beautiful.
so it's like if it's something you were taught by like a teacher that was supposed to know what they were talking about, you were like, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do, right? And
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always pin my swatch.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that's part of the blocking. They put pins in the blocking mats for you to
right.
use. Like, who would have thought? I just need to lay it down and let the ends roll and gauge swatch in the middle
Mm-hmm.
where your stitches are going to be consistent. Yeah, a lot of these things I've done.
I've done it too until I
Mhm.
started taking paid classes. She's big
Pegs.
on peg.
Oh, I heard she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard she's awesome. I've been doing better. Like color work has not been my jam, but I think Pam tricked me into doing this color work cow. And when she gave it to me as a sample for the shop, I was like, "Are you sure? You know this color work, right?" And she said, "Well,
I didn't trick you into nothing.
Girl,
I
Oh,
got
she's
one
still
ear
listening.
tuned into you, sister.
she tricked me, y'all." And it was cashmere yarn.
Oh, good grief.
So like
And you
the
loved
whole
it so
time-
much, I remember.
Panic.
Right. I was determined to make this out of this yarn because I wanted to knit with it. It was cashmere.
Yeah.
But it helped me because I wasn't about to mess it up. So it took me about a good week and a half to make this little cow because I had to make sure all my color work wasn't getting jammed up because I've made color work hats that have fit infants.
Oh my God. You
Yeah.
can't get them over a dog's head. I mean,
At all.
they're just like,
But I would love to take one of Peg's color work class because I know she's the master.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna put my needles back on the ropes. I'm gonna do that Paul Klee. It's some more color work. Like I feel like eventually I'm gonna be able to tell you I'm a color work professional. Right now, I'm not there.
Don't tell Ingrid.
Right. Right. Okay, so let me close this up. I'm gonna took you over. Let me see. Okay. Chapter 3. We know now. Okay. You're gonna reread chapter 2. And I'm gonna ask you in January what else you caught out of chapter 2, because you're gonna catch something. And then we're gonna go to chapter 3. And in chapter 3, my favorite subject, one size does not fit all.
Mhm.
So they're gonna show you the difference between they have 2 measurements in the pattern sometimes. They'll have what's it called? Body measurements and finished garment measurements. That she's gonna go in deep about what the difference between the 2 is and how to make your perfect garments. And then chapter 4, what you're gonna do too, is gonna be all about cast-ons. For the longest, I thought it was one cast-on, long tail. And it took me to get into the shop to realize I wasn't even doing that right.
I have a question. In that one, she have
Mhm.
us doing different swatches, but she wants us to use the same yarn, and she wants to keep the swatch alive. But I mean, how much yarn do you have to keep? I mean, are we going to use one ball for each one? I mean, that's
I
correct.
just took off a little bit of yarn off the end of my ball. Like I just went up in there and snatched a little bit of that out and just left it on the end.
Yeah, I am
And
liking
kept my
the yarn that I'm using, that I
and
was
put
hoping
my
to keep it intact.
swatch on
I
this.
didn't want it to break.
You didn't. Oh, I just broke a little. I figured this yarn is
Aw.
gonna be all about swatching, so
That's what I saw, but I didn't
yeah,
like it.
I'm wrong with my
Because
next
I want
swatch. Yeah,
something.
because you also in chapter 3, what some people have done already, you're gonna make 3 of the same swatches with different types of yarn.
Oh, yeah, I used 5 different ones.
Yeah.
Girl, you the man. I tell you, you're gonna teach this class next time. I done already.
I did.
I was curious, so about
It'll make you like. I think the worst one was the cotton one. Like I was like,
I did cotton. Yeah.
And I think she said
I didn't want
a
to.
texture that you
I
had
did
not
not
done
want to.
before, do a stitch you had not done before.
I did not want to swatch that cotton, but I said it's gonna make the perfect dishcloth one day.
well,
But I did not want
I
to.
like one out of all of the ones that I did. So
That was your favorite one?
no.
Oh.
Scout was the Scout or whatever was the name. I can
Yeah.
whatever the wool one that I chose. I mean, I really like that one. I think
So yeah, and do we have any questions? Any?
And very informative.
Thank you, Deborah. I try. That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Right.
When's the next one?
The next one is January 14th.
14.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Enjoy
yeah,
your
everybody.
Christmas. Yes, I like cookies, cakes. Any of you buy the shop, feel free to drop any of it off. Yeah, we need these for the shop. Tell Beth we need some of these.
I do have a question, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
When you were talking about measuring, I bought one of those thingy doos, acrylic measuring thing. I wondered just how accurate it is because you know, just placing it on top of your stitches, and I've used it several times and I don't see where my stitches fit perfectly across any of these.
I want to see that close up. Can I see it again? I put you on spot. Hold it up.
Oh yeah, I've seen
That's
that
new
tool.
one.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Where you
Yeah.
fit, you see where your stitch fits.
I see where your stitches are supposed to go in those holes like that, and it tells you
Yeah.
And none of yours fit in any of those?
Not exactly. They don't line up exactly. They're, you know, like the first stitch may be a little over in the second block, and you know, they don't fit exactly. They don't line up like they do in the picture.
So when you do your gauge with your ruler, and you see where your gauge is on your ruler, and then you put it in between one of those, does it match up?
It comes pretty close. Because I use 3 or 4 different measurements. I have another tool that I use that you count 10 stitches. Okay. This one I love because it's usually right on point. When you put it on your swatch, count 10 stitches, always 10 stitches, and you put the slide over where it ends up. And I find that it measures just the way it does the ruler. Or I use like 3 or 4 different types of measurements and see how, you know, see if there's a difference. If there's a difference, I add them up and average them out. And that's what
that's what you use. Yeah. Well, I know I'm never using
the highest, I throw out the lowest, and then I add what's left and average it out.
Well, it is, and it's been working for you.
Yeah. Worked for me.
I thought that tape measure was working for me. I really did.
I mean, I'm really surprised at when I've knitted garments, and I contribute that to Peg, you know, what some of the things she's taught that they fit. They fit the way they're supposed to fit. And my first sweater that I did out of the We Are Knitters or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do a gauge, so it's 100% wool. I blocked the sweater and I can't wear it. I had to give it away because it just did not fit. And I didn't do a swatch. I didn't do a swatch because I said, I'm not a tight knitter. I'm not a loose knitter. I'm just.
I got this.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I've been there. I'll swatch. I'll just see once I get started if I got gauge. I'll just knit 3 rows and check it then. Yeah. Yep. But it's more than getting somebody else's gauge. It's getting your gauge.
So does Patty talk in future chapters, and maybe I'm jumping ahead and we'll get there, about, because I've had times where I do a swatch, like an adequate one, not the one the size of a postage stamp, but, a nice big one, I measure it the way it's supposed to be measured. I do all the things that I've been taught, and then when I'm actually knitting a garment, it's different. I knit for a while and then I check my gauge again and it's different from my swatch. Does she address that at any point?
She does.
Yeah. Okay.
And sometimes, like I mentioned, the knitting in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
it goes into it's different things. Like you might have had your major swatch sitting on the beach while you were on vacation, and then you go home and you start it at right before you get off work, and you're stressed. Like different things can affect your knitting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or even with that sweater, you might be going super fast because you want to try it on. You want to get to under the sleeves.
Right.
So you're sitting here speed knitting, but on that swatch, you were just throwing the needle and just.
Well, what do you do in a case like that?
Well, for one thing, you need to know your own measurements, and you need to know the measurements the sweater is going to produce. Sometimes it won't hurt because it may have 5 inches of positive ease. So you're going to be okay. But sometimes it might be that fitted crop top.
Yeah.
And if you lose 1 or 2
with that 30-inch waist.
Girl, I'm looking forward to this 30-inch waist I talk about. But yeah, it's different things that affect it. I've also learned, that's why they tell you to make, sometimes we do row gauge. We're caught up on row gauge. I'm sorry, stitch gauge, but we ignore the row gauge. So we do 2 inches and we're done. We're done. My row gauge never matches up. And that row gauge is equally as important. It could be part of that too. It could be, like we said, some things grow, other fabrics don't. That's why blocking that swatch and putting that weight on it can make a difference.
Hey, Kendra, like when you're talking about it, I was wondering if your swatch, did you like block it and, soak it and block it and do all that stuff? And your project, you would not have.
Right.
So maybe that gentle difference was.
Could be. That could definitely be it. That's a good point. Yeah.
What do you mean would not have blocked it? You mean after you finish it, or?
No, she's talking about.
No, it's on the needles, and she was like checking her gauge while she was knitting it.
She says is you're not supposed to check the gauge while it's on the needle.
While it's on the needle.
That could, that could also. Yeah, she tells you some good stuff in this book. I no longer feel funny about her. After the first chapter, I was like, she better get to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but chapter 2 did it for me. Reread that chapter. Tell me, email me, and tell me what you think when you read it the second time. My email is crochetkimcat@gmail.com.
Crochet Kim K?
Cat. C-A-T.
Oh, Kim Cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All one word.
Yep, Crochet Kim Cat.
At
C-A-T or K?
Gmail.com.
Gmail?
Is it Kim
Cool.
Cat with a K or a C?
Okay, it's the first 3 letters of my first name, Kim. The first 3 letters of my last name is Cater, so it's C-A-T-E-R, so it's C-A-T. Crochet Kim Cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
At Gmail.
Yep.
Kim,
After
do
you
you
read that,
block all your crochet projects like this also?
I won't tell a lie.
Uh-oh.
Most of them. It depends on what.
Yeah.
Normally, when I crochet, for some reason, I crochet with acrylic. I don't know. I'm a color crafter head. I love color crafter. I love Katona. I love soft fun. Like it's normally like a blend of cotton or acrylic. When I knit, I normally knit with wool or superwash wool or something like that. So if I'm crocheting something that it's gonna have to fit me or somebody else, yes, I block my swatch. I always make a swatch because I want to know if I want to crochet with it. I have a swatch board, a whole wall of swatches, and I keep them. I put a little tag on them, and I don't know if I can turn this. I don't think I can. Maybe I can. Will it let me turn it around? Nope, I can't do it.
You
This
went
way,
the
I
other
can't.
way.
I can't.
So
But
if you use that yarn once
mm-hmm.
and come back a year or 2 later with that same yarn, would you swatch it again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I normally will look at my wall and see like what I'm gonna knit with. And then I'll take that fabric and then I'll swatch it again to see, does it still feel the same way with that needle? Is this what I want this project to be made out of? I'm doing a lot of baby stuff right now. One of my friends is expecting in March. So I've got a lot of swatches, but I want to know if I want this baby to feel loved in my sweater. I want it to be soft. I want to know when I black it, it's going to feel like this. Her mother is a knitter. So I can't go wrong. I can't fail this.
Add step on it.
So yeah, and I'm re-swatching everything. Even though I know what fabrics on this board I'm going to use, I'm still re-swatching to make sure that this baby is going to feel loved in my sweaters and my blanket.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Okay, Pam. We can stop it. Yep.
It's 8 o'clock.
It's after 8. I took you guys over about 15 minutes. Forgive me.
It was worth it.
Yeah, it was very, very helpful.
Good.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Happy
Thank you,
holidays,
Kim.
Happy
festivities,
Thanksgiving.
everything.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
Merry
happy
Christmas, and Happy New
Thanksgiving.
Year.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good
You're
night.
welcome. Good night. Thanks, Pam.
Thanks, Kim.
All right. Thank you. See you guys next time, okay?
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, there it is.